Today I want to talk a little bit about my train layout and what I'm attempting to do. I modeled the Illinois Central Gulf Railroad. The railroad itself existed from 1972 to 1988, and I'm modeling a small section of the railroad called the Sparta District. In fact, there's a wonderful book entitled Illinois Central Gulf, Volume 3, The Sparta District. And in this book, the author speaks about on how he was reading a Trains magazine article years ago, Lament for an Old Woman. And he says the author remarks in part, never seeing a train at an overpass that he often passed under as a youth. And the author speaks about his own regret as not seeing the Sparta District in its heyday. When I was a small child, I actually was occasionally driving past. My parents would be driving past the old Sparta District, the old GM&O main line. And I remember seeing all the trains, the coal trains that were parked on the track. And it just kind of left an impression on me. Where I grew up, a very small town in southern Illinois, I was on a branch line of the Illinois Central Gulf and would constantly see coal trains going by when I was a kid. And those are very fond memories. In fact, one of my earliest memories of the trains going through the town were a conductor at the end of the caboose waving at the car as we were driving past. And that memory's just stuck with me, and it's one of the reasons, I guess, that the Illinois Central Gulf Railroad has intrigued me so much over the years. There's also a very interesting book entitled Illinois Central Monday Morning Rails. And at the very end of this book, the author himself is speaking about on how it's sad, but not tragic. It's railroading in the 90s. It's the world of Amtrak and double stacks and Freds instead of cabooses. And then he continues, there's still a lot of railroading out there and all sorts of opportunities. The new experiences don't displace the older ones. They just add more layers to the memories. It's enough to know that they happened. In one sense, that's what I'm trying to do with my own layout. I'm remembering so many of the things that once existed in southern Illinois, like some of the major coal mines that were on the Sparta District, like Spartan Printing, which was a huge employer. And of course, over the 90s and 2000s, the economy shifted a great deal during that period of time, and that had an impact on rail traffic. So much so that a great portion of the line that I'm modeling between Murfreesboro, Illinois, and East St. Louis no longer exists. The Sparta District only has a few miles left of the original GM&O main line. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to portray the Illinois Central Gulf as it once existed. Is it exactly 100% prototypical? No, there's got to be selective compression, those sorts of things, as well as there are some industries that that once existed that by the time I'm modeling no longer existed, but I'm still having them on the layout anyway. So for instance, at Tilden, Illinois, there was I take that back, Percy, Illinois, there was a lumber yard as well as a Standard Oil transloading facility there. And so I'm continuing to model those facilities, even though that by the time I am modeling, they no longer existed. So it's not 100% prototypical, but I'm trying to convey the spirit of what once existed on the old GM&O during the Illinois Central Gulf era. So I appreciate you coming, taking a look at the videos that I'm posting of the train layout. Of course, like anything else, it's a work in progress, but I hope that my own feeble attempt at trying to capture the spirit motivates you and gets you interested both in the Illinois Central Gulf Railroad as well as some of the history that's taken place in Illinois.